I'd like to address something that occurred 2 weeks ago. I did not record the best podcast on March 19th. I do apologize for that. I lost my voice while recording it. And I didn't stop. I kept recording. And I partially lost my voice over the next few days and subsequent week. So I was basically not able to record a podcast with the voice that I had. And it was due to the lack of sleep that I was getting based on recording and editing and prepping. So I sat down with our NHL correspondent, Jack Esper, and thanks to him, we came up with a little bit of a different format. So if you've been listening to us from day one, you'll hear a different format. So thanks to Jack for his patience and kindness to help us redesign the show in a sense. So hope you guys like it. Let's get it going. I want to get you out the door with every result from every league in under 15 minutes so that you're more informed about what's going on in the world of sports.
Hey TJ, what's going on? I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports.
Hey everybody, I'm Chandler Sports and this is the Sport Report.
And I'm Chandler and this is Tiger Beat Sports. Welcome to a special edition of this all crazy sport newscast.
Broadcasting from somewhere in the United States.
Hit it, Blaze.
This is the Sport Report.
Monday, April 1st, 2019. Hey everybody, I'm Chandler with Sports, and this is the Sport Report. It's time to get you caught up on what's happening in the world of sports. This is Top of the Order.
In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
This is Top of the Order.
Yes, our biggest story of the night comes from across the pond. Liverpool and Tottenham Hotspur were playing at Anfield, home of Liverpool, and they were level at 1 goal apiece when this happened.
Robertson measures it in. Alexander-Arnold. Salah! Oh, it's in! It's an own goal! Inside the 90th minute!
That from Arlo White and the team at NBCSN. Liverpool now lead Manchester City by 2 points. Tottenham Hotspur have fallen into a 4-team tie. Well, it's more like a 4-team race at this point. Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Chelsea are all within a point of each other for 2 Champions League spots. They all have 7 games remaining, except Arsenal, who have 8 games remaining. They play Newcastle United later today, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific on NBCSN. We were going to have Nigel Remington, our Sport Report soccer correspondent, on today, but due to the change in format and due to, well, losing my voice for 2 weeks, we didn't believe it was appropriate for him to be on today, so we'll have him on at the next big event. Now let's get back to business. Back to the United States. The NBA had a 7-game slate last night. Let's see what happened on the hardwood.
Bird takes the shot. It's gone! Oh my goodness! I can't believe it!
Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up and scores at the buzzer! Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago!
Around the NBA.
In the NBA, the Eastern Conference leading Milwaukee Bucks play the Atlanta Hawks. Hawks win 136-135 in overtime. Trae Young got the tip in at the buzzer, and he led the Atlanta Hawks with 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 16 assists for another double-double. He's really putting together a Rookie of the Year campaign unlike any other. Well, there is Luka Doncic. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 106-103. Trey Burke had 25 points and 8 assists coming off the bench for Oklahoma City. Dirk Nowitzki had 7 points and 13 rebounds for Dallas. The Dallas Mavericks took down the Oklahoma City Thunder 106-103. Russell Westbrook had another triple-double, 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 11 assists for the Thunder. The LA Lakers, in our time gone, had shut down LeBron James. He's out for the season. So, JaVale McGee and Rajon Rondo took it upon themselves and got a double-double apiece. JaVale McGee with 23 points and 16 rebounds. Rondo had 24 points and 12 assists. They took down the New Orleans Pelicans 130-102. So the Lakers, even though they're out of a playoff spot, we'll get to the standings in a few, they're still fighting. Sacramento Kings took down the San Antonio Spurs 113-106. Willie Cauley-Stein had 17 points and 6 rebounds for the Kings. Buddy Hield had 26 points for Sacramento as well. For the San Antonio Spurs, LaMarcus Aldridge was 2 rebounds short of a 2020 game, 27 points and 18 rebounds for him in the 7-point loss to Sacramento. The Washington Wizards beat the Denver Nuggets 95-90. Denver was held to 28 second-half points. That's not pretty good for the now number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Jabari Parker had 20 points and 6 rebounds for Washington. For Denver, Nikola Jokic had 23 points and 14 rebounds on the night for another double-double. The defending champion Golden State Warriors demolished the Charlotte Hornets 137-90. Kemba Walker only had 9 points in the game for Charlotte. Steph Curry had 25 points. Klay Thompson had 24 for the defending champs. And in the final game of the night, the LA Clippers won by 17, 113-96 over the Memphis Grizzlies. DeLon Wright had 20 points for Memphis as they finished 4 short of a century. Danilo Gallinari had a double-double for the Clippers, 27 points, 15 rebounds on the night. Let's take a look at tomorrow's games. It is a 9-game slate in the NBA tomorrow. The Detroit Pistons travel to Indiana to face the Pacers. The Heat are at the Celtics, Bucks at the Nets, Bulls at the Knicks. Magic are at the Raptors as they cross the border, Trailblazers at the Wolves, Sixers at the Mavericks, Hornets at the Jazz, and to cap off the night, the Cleveland Cavaliers head to Phoenix in the desert to take on the Suns. If we look at the standings right now, the top 8 teams are as follows. The top 5 seeds in the Eastern Conference have clinched their spot. Milwaukee Bucks, Toronto Raptors, Philadelphia 76ers, Boston Celtics, and Indiana Pacers. The Celtics and Pacers are tied for 4th at 45 and 32. The Detroit Pistons, Brooklyn Nets, and Miami Heat are 6, 7, 8 currently. The Orlando Magic are in 9th, half a game out of the 8th spot on Miami. Charlotte is 3 games out of the 8th spot. In the Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors are the number 1 seed after Denver's loss to Washington last night. 52-24 are the defending champs, game ahead of Denver. Houston is 3rd, Portland is 4th, Utah Jazz are 5th, Clippers in 6th, Spurs in 7th, and the Thunder in 8th. Spurs and Thunder are tied at 44 and 33 for the 8th spot. All 8 seeds in the Western Conference have been clinched. Now it's time to move to the ice.
Back in front door, shot, scores! From Sanderson!
Rebound chance in front. Kagan is there. Puck comes free. Score! Score!
5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Around the NHL.
The New York Rangers beat the Philadelphia Flyers 3-0 last night. Ryan Strome had his 18th goal of the season, and Alexander Georgiev had 29 saves in the shutout. The Arizona Coyotes took down the Minnesota Wild 4-0, another shutout. There were 3 on the night in the NHL. Josh Archibald had his 11th and 12th goals of the season. Darcy Kemper had 39 saves in the shutout for the Coyotes. Pittsburgh Penguins took down the Carolina Hurricanes 3-1. Matt Cullen had his 7th goal of the season and an assist for the Penguins in a victory for Pittsburgh. The Columbus Blue Jackets had a 4-0 win over the Buffalo Sabres. It's the 3rd and final shutout of the night. Nick Foligno had his 17th goal of the season, and Sergei Bobrovsky had 38 saves for Columbus. The Boston Bruins led 3-2 after the second period as David Backes gave them the lead, but it was all Detroit from there. 6-3 winners for the Red Wings. Tyler Bertuzzi had a hat-trick of assists, and Anthony Mantha decided he's going to have a hat-trick of goals, 20th, 21st, and 22nd goals of the season for him. Finally, the Calgary Flames clinched the Western Conference and the Pacific Division for the first time in 12 years. They win 5-3 over Pacific Division rivals San Jose Sharks. Had the Sharks won, the Sharks would have had an outside chance to win the Pacific Division and clinch home ice. Sean Monahan had his 34th goal of the season for Calgary, while Logan Couture had his 27th goal of the season for San Jose. Tomorrow's games are as follows. The Washington Capitals are at the Florida Panthers, New York Rangers at the New Jersey Devils at the Prudential Center. Maple Leafs travel to the Nassau Coliseum for the New York Islanders. Tampa Bay Lightning at the Ottawa Senators. Colorado Avalanche have an important playoff positioning game against the St. Louis Blues in St. Louis. Winnipeg Jets are at the United Center for the Chicago Blackhawks. Edmonton Oilers are at the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Calgary Flames on the second half of back-to-back head to the Staples Center for the LA Kings. The standings for the NHL. The top 3 teams in each division get in, while there are 2 other wildcard spots to be filled. Tampa Bay Lightning have 122 points. They've clinched home ice throughout the entirety of the playoffs. Boston Bruins have 103 points in the Atlantic Division in second, and the Toronto Maple Leafs in third with 97 points. In the Metropolitan Divisions, the Washington Capitals with 102 points, New York Islanders with 99, and the Pittsburgh Penguins with 97. The Columbus Blue Jackets, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Montreal Canadiens are battling for 2 playoff spots. They all 3 have 3 games remaining. Columbus Blue Jackets on 94 points, Carolina Hurricanes on 93 points, Montreal Canadiens on 92 points. In the Western Conference, it's a little bit tighter. The Western Conference has the Central Division and the Pacific Division. Winnipeg Jets and Nashville Predators are tied on 94 points, but the Winnipeg Jets have a game in hand. St. Louis Blues are 2 points behind both of them with 4 games remaining, same amount as Winnipeg. St. Louis Blues have 92 points. In the Pacific Division, like we said, the Calgary Flames have 105 points. They've clinched the Western Conference as in terms of having home ice for the playoffs. San Jose Sharks at 97 and the Vegas Golden Knights at 91. The Dallas Stars have 89 points in the first wildcard position, and the Colorado Avalanche have 85 points. 2 weeks ago, we essentially ruled them out of the playoffs. They are a point ahead of Arizona after the win the other night. Arizona on 84 points, Minnesota on 81, Chicago on 79. Colorado and Chicago each have 4 games remaining. Arizona and Minnesota have 3 games remaining. We'll have our Sport Report NHL correspondent Jack Esper on the air hopefully Wednesday night to discuss playoffs. For the first time this season, we get to touch the diamond.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone!
And Carlton Fisk had a lot of little boy in him right there.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight and the Mets win it.
Touch 'em all, Joe. Home run! Mike Piazza!
Jeter backhands from the outfield grass. Got it! Man, what a play!
Now from Major League Baseball.
The Texas Rangers took down the Chicago Cubs 11-10 in a high-scoring affair. Baltimore Orioles won for the second day in a row at the New York Yankees 7-5 this time. Took 11 innings for the Detroit Tigers to beat the Toronto Blue Jays 4-3. Pittsburgh Pirates held the Cincinnati Reds to 4 hits in a 5-0 shutout. Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 winners over the Houston Astros. Washington Nationals 6-5 over the Mets. Minnesota Twins took down the Cleveland Indians 9-3. Milwaukee Brewers, Christian Yelich became the 6th player in MLB history to have 4 homers in 4 games, 4 consecutive games to start a season. 5-4, the Brewers win. Chicago White Sox 6-3 winners over the Royals. Oakland Athletics 2-1 against the Angels. Padres 3-1 winners against the Bay Area Giants. Dodgers 8-7 against the Diamondbacks. And in the first Sunday Night Baseball game of the season, Bryce Harper was named player of the game as the Phillies won 5-1. Tomorrow there is a 13-game slate in the MLB. We want to touch on soccer really quick. Cardiff City was on the wrong end of a few decisions as Chelsea came back and scored 2 goals late in the second half. 2-1 winners are the Blues. They took 3 points out of Wales, and they are still in the top 4 hunt. In Spain, Real Madrid survived a scare with an 89th minute winner against Huesca. Huesca is the last team in La Liga. 3-2, Los Blancos take all 3 points. Before we sign off for the night, let's cover some March Madness. The Auburn Tigers took down the Kentucky Wildcats in overtime 77-71. They will play the Virginia Cavaliers on Saturday, April 6th in the Final Four. In the other Elite Eight matchup, it was the thriller. The Michigan State Spartans beat the number 1 overall seed Duke Blue Devils, basically destroying a lot of people's brackets. I may or may not have been one of the 1,000 or so, and by 1,000 I mean 7,923 entries to correctly predict the Final Four. I had one bracket that had Michigan State playing Texas Tech and Auburn playing Virginia. I'm okay with that. Michigan State beat Duke 68-67. They will play Texas Tech, as mentioned, in the Final Four on Saturday, April 6th. The 2 winners from those matchups will play in the national title game on Monday, April 8th. Looking forward to that. That's the Sport Report for April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2019.
For now, I'm Chandler.
Thanks for tuning into the Sport Report today. We'll be back tomorrow with the latest in sports. Do you want to contact Chandler Sports or members of the Sport Report team? Visit sportreportcws.com. This podcast is copyrighted by the Sport Report for viewers to understand sports from a news reporting basis. Any other use of this podcast, Sport Report logos, or anything associated with this podcast without the express written consent of Chandler Sports is strictly prohibited.